Some people, no matter what the situation is, they are determined that they're going to win. They are so competitive, and it defines how they answer that question. So maybe a better question might be, how do you see yourself? What type of vessel are you when it comes to your faith? You see, if our definition of winning is wrong, then our approach to having a winning faith becomes destined for failure. Much too often, our understanding of that is a faith that produces a win based on human perspective, based on the perspective of how the world sees a win. We listen to sports heroes that give credit to winning the big game or achieving a top prize and saying that the Lord helped them do it, and we conjure up visions of men standing on podiums in life and celebrating victories. And in short, our concept of being a winner in this thing called faith is usually based on a desire of winning defined by the way the world sees winning. But Paul had a unique take on this topic. Most of us would define Paul as a winner when it comes to faith. However, if we isolate his circumstances and we remove the fact that his name was Paul and we attach it to scriptures from hindsight, we might see it a little bit differently. We may see it how some of his contemporaries may have seen it. You see, this was a man who was imprisoned twice. He was shipwrecked. He was beaten. He lost money. And when he died for his faith, but he died alone. Amen. We have the benefit of seeing this writer from the perspective of a New Testament reader. However, when Paul addressed his situation in 2 Corinthians chapter 4, here's the way he addresses it in verse 7 through 10. He talks about his faith this way. He says, "We now have this light shining in our hearts. But we ourselves are like fragile clay jars containing this great treasure." He doesn't say, "I'm a great treasure." He doesn't say, "I've achieved great things." He says, "I'm like this fragile clay jar. But what I contain is eternal, and what is contained in me by faith, my relationship with God far outweighs anything this world could offer." And so the way he describes it, he says, is we ourselves are like fragile clay jars containing this great treasure, this light that's shining out for the world. And this makes it clear that our great power is from God, not from ourselves. We are pressed on every side. This is how he describes his situation. He doesn't say, I'm winning, I'm going from one thing to the... No, his description of his faith is, we're pressed on every side by troubles, but we're not crushed. We are perplexed, but not driven to despair. We are hunted down, but never abandoned by God. We get knocked down, but we are not destroyed. Through suffering, our bodies continue to share in the death of Jesus so that the life of Jesus may also be seen in our bodies. What he says is, although the world may look at me and not understand what I'm going through, I am winning in my faith because this great treasure is contained in me. And the world is able to see that light shining in me, although I am perplexed and hunted and troubled and beaten. Through all of that, I still am able to stand because I am able to accomplish anything through Christ who strengthens me.